Yeah, welcome to LOOTRS OT.
On this show, we will explore the ins and outs of our lives as hip-hop artists, business partners, and I suppose brothers.
Okay. Done with regulation time. Now get ready for what's next. LOOTRS OT. Yeah, LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. Yeah, LOOTRS OT. LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. LOOTRS OT. LOOTRS OT. Gang.
Stormbar.
Stormbar.
Ayah.
The one. Like, how was showing? It was so funny showing Dad what ASMR was. I was showing the cover, and he's like, "What's ASMR?" I'm like, "Dad, let me teach you a little something."
Let me take you for a walk.
And I don't know what he was thinking. He just sat there silently, just like, just frowning, just so confused, but like subtly excited.
It's confusing.
It's so weird, man. It's so cool. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
It's very confusing. I didn't know this until but there was like a Gary V did like an Under Over show, a segment on his show, and one of it was one of the things was ASMR.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said underrated because in his opinion, and I don't know heaps about it. I only know obviously what I'm seen.
Pretty sure it started as a autism.
Yeah,
treatment sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's to help people with, cope with certain things, autism, maybe sleep.
Just relaxation.
It just helps them chill out. So
yeah, it definitely has that effect when you're listening to it. You're like,
okay. You can fall into a bit of a trance with it.
Yeah, but goddamn, this one chick, she looked like she might be the don of it. She had like a couple mil followers, like almost 1 million views on every video. And the thing that's just interesting is that like it doesn't really change much. It's so similar every time. It's just her with her nails like tapping on the whatever random object she has.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I love it. She starts every episode like, the mic isn't loud enough.
Does the little...
Just with her hands, it just like makes this little... I can't even...
Yeah.
The mic has to be... The input has to be turned way up. It just picks up everything. But yeah, it's nice. But you need to have a... And then there was this other chick doing it who has like a banana neon light behind her. Pretty fit blonde chick in like this tight yellow dress. And the caption is like ASMR... what every man wants to hear or something like that, and she like...
I think I saw that one.
Oh, did you? Just that one? Out of all the ones, you saw that one?
No.
Interesting.
That was while I was doing research on the topic.
I'll show you that, I'm sure. But she's a funny
person.
Funny person. She was like saying very inconspicuous sexual things, but so not sexual, just very subtle innuendo.
Very ASMR-y.
Yeah, very ASMR. Anyway, let's get into it.
Let's jump into it.
We're going to start with music updates.
Music updates. Let's go.
Well, I mean, for me personally...
Update me. Surely you've got nothing new out.
No, nothing new. Other than a new single. Let's go.
Let's go.
Outsider is out today. I'm pretty happy with it. Just launched the ads for it.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, like the ads are now a big part of it, and not just like a key part.
Why are they?
I mean, it's just like anyone who, an e-commerce brand, and they're launching a product. You're not just going to have, 100,000 random customers just stumbling across your website. Yeah. You got to target them. You got to find them. It's so amazing because it puts the power back into artists' hands. There's no gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Other than Facebook, as long as you follow their rules, or whatever other service you choose to advertise on, as long as you follow the rules, then like you have the opportunity.
She be alright.
She bye.
She bye.
She bye. you have the opportunity to reach people you wouldn't normally reach, and like, it's like what a record label does, you know?
Yeah. Do you start running the ads on the day that you launch a song?
Yeah, pretty much, because you want to sort of get from what I've come to understand, as far as I'm aware, you want to try and give Spotify as much good data as possible, as early as possible. And good data can be is like everything. It's like a like, you know, the love heart, how long they listen to the song, how quickly they skip through it, if they repeat it, if they put it in a playlist, if they send it to someone, if they share it on Instagram. Like Spotify is looking at all of that. Like it's good because it's like there's not just one metric. It's like as long as your music's good and people react to it and enjoy it, and you can tell that quite easily from people's behaviors on the app, then the whole idea is you give it your channel, you push some good traffic to it, and it's good traffic because you're targeting people. Yeah, you're specifically targeting the people that listen to that music, and they're most likely, instead of like, you know, a lot of traditional marketing is like you pay for the placement and you don't really know who's going to see it, like, you know, billboards and newspapers and things like that. Maybe it's like a particular demographic you're going for, but at the end of the day, you don't really know who's going to see it and react to it. Whereas, you know, I'm targeting specifically this music that sounds like certain artists, certain countries that I know are performing well on my Spotify. Like I look at the audience and what countries, and then like make sure I emphasis on targeting them. But yeah, I love that. I've tried to do some things differently with it, not just with the ads, but like
with Outsider.
Yeah, with Outsider, like I'm gonna have the that like 3-part thing talking about breaking down the song, like the things I learned. So each release I'll do. It's going to be called Path 2. It's just like a little extra segment of just imagine I'm a brand, you know, which I am, which every person really can be and is if they want to be, and artists specifically. It's just like a little offshoot, whatever you say.
What, just, do you mean like another piece of content?
Yeah, like a little spin-off, because it's like, you know, the song is the main piece of content. Yeah. Like a music video is another big key piece of content if you do it. And then this will be, my podcast will obviously be a big part of that as well, because I'll tie that in with it. Yeah. And then this thing...
So wait, is Path 2 going to be a segment on the podcast?
No. I'm going to... maybe in the future, but like just to simplify to make sure I can get it out and done, it's going to be uploaded to YouTube and SoundCloud. And people on my email list, I'll send it to them and put the link in there.
For Path 2?
Yeah. And I'll advertise... I'll... tell people on social media about it, obviously, and send people. But like, I'm not really too phased on it getting seen much. Like, if it does, obviously that's sick. But it's more just for myself, like to start building more content around each release that makes sense. And so it'll be just like a little breakdown of what I learned during the process of.
And I think the people who are really into you and really want to follow your journey, like, they'll get a lot out of that.
Yeah, and I hope that also, like, maybe you don't, like, fuck with me heaps, but, like, an artist that's, like, you know, a couple steps behind me and trying to figure some shit out, you know, they're struggling with their songwriting or whatever it may be, and they can listen to that and be like, oh, okay, that's what he does. Like, because it's like, you get insights from interviews and maybe books and documentaries and stuff, but it's not often you get like real good first-hand experience unless you're with that person and having a conversation with someone. They're like, hey, do it like this or do it like that. Yeah. You know, there's like tutorials for production and mixing, but there's not really like a whole heap of stuff talking about the process because it's like so subjective, you know, like it changes so much each time. And so, yeah, it's just like a way to also just like put a timestamp on what I learned there, and then to be able to revisit it, and it just cements it more in my head and everything. So yeah. That's what about yourself? What's happening with music?
Not a lot.
Oh, you got the what's that song called? To the Moon.
To the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to Tim's song?
That's
still happening. You just want to.
Yeah, because I want to get that writer.
Yeah, I get you.
So,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Because that just involves more singing. So
yeah, well, that song "To the Moon" sounding good.
Yeah. What bit? So, I mean, that's probably too detailed to go into now about which specific parts you were talking about.
Yeah, it's just like because like remember it's lyrics from another song, right?
Mm.
So you're translating it to a new beat. You're adding a whole different melody to it.
Yeah.
And in parts, it's clear that it's just translated well, and it just like syncs up, and it just naturally comes off your tongue.
Yeah. So just come back to the bits that are a bit more clunky.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's in the exact same spots on both verses. It's like the hook sounds good, the verse starts, sounds good, and then when the beat sort of like more comes in a little bit, you get a little bit. It just isn't the energy isn't really sitting right with the vocals.
I think we'll have to look at it again because I need to ask. I need you to show me exactly which bits later.
Easy.
But yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, I'm really happy with how that's sounding. My goal was to have that. The first mix. No, my goal was to have it finished this week, actually.
Still possible?
Still possible. I probably need to put some hours in tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to. This week's gone quick, eh? It's only Wednesday, bro.
Yeah, it's fucked.
We've still got.
Yeah, but it's not just. It's like, you know, mum and dad just got here and and I'm just like, oh well, I'm getting very little work done this weekend.
Yeah. Well, let's just. The thing that's important in these sort of moments, which I think we both have done at times, is that you go from, and I think everyone does it with like all different things. You go from like, well, firstly, the whole idea of a week, it's like so good for some things, but fuck, it's such a
why? Yeah,
it like limits your
it's very limiting.
Productivity. It's hard, and then like there's this like idea of like, all right, and now it's the weekend. Now I should do different things. Now it's Monday, and I should do different things. It's like. I mean, if you care about something, if you have a dream, if you love what you do, like it doesn't really it shouldn't really matter what day it is. And I'm talking to myself as well.
Yeah, I know. And I was talking to like Fabio about this in relation to my trading because I think.
Oh yeah, you're shocking with that.
Yeah, so because I think very much in months. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of come from him because that's how he would like look at the month, how much success he's had in a particular month.
Yeah, it makes sense. But it's just like
it's limiting because like if that's a month is a spec in terms of my career to this date and my career like by the end of my career it'll be nothing.
And that's why I was going to say that don't get stuck on that concept of time and the week. And just do as much as you can, which I know makes sense, and you agree with that. But like, for the next few days, be more practical about it, and still imagine that like this week's going to go for 4 weeks, and you're just going to do as much as you can for the next few days.
4-week week, baby.
Because then comes next week, and instead of being where you are now and throwing it all out the window and waiting till next week, you're like half done. Like I had like a little epiphany. Because my next single, are you ready?
What's your next single?
My next single is Opulence. And I started, I like got home, I think it was last night or the night before, and I was like feeling a bit just flat. Didn't really know, I had some things I wanted to do, but it just didn't really feel like have enough energy to commit to those, like mental energy.
Yeah.
And so I like decided to just switch it up a little bit and I just started, I felt like working on Opulence, but didn't really know what to do. So I just listened to the mix that I already got and started making notes, like real detailed notes. And so I'm like, normally I would wait. I've mentally making notes all the time when I listen back to it. And then when it comes time to it, I'll know what I'm going to do. But it's also a little bit unguided, so it can be a bit slippery, because then you could start going down one thing and that. But I'm like, setting up for when it does come time to record it. Now I have the structure and idea of like, all right, I'm specifically doing this.
Yep. And
it just made me think about like really properly long-term planning, I guess, and like, we're always sort of doing the next thing that we've got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And how often are we really doing something that's like overall the habits are building and they're creating, you know, you're moving towards a goal. But how often are we like doing something that isn't really going to have an immediate effect or isn't necessarily needed right now? But if you do it, then when it comes time to do that thing, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for the future.
Yeah, I just don't think like we do that enough. I don't know about other people, but I feel like we don't.
Set ourselves up for the future.
Well, not set ourselves up for the future. Let's just like, so like, if I were to go through my natural, normal process, I would have waited till I've already got a draft down.
Oh, you would start.
I would get in the studio.
And then start the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Instead of like going a couple steps ahead. And like, for example, what else I started writing, because I do a document for each single and like put all the necessary information like lyrics and just different breakdown, how I'm going to do the advertising, maybe like just things I'm thinking about, concept, like brainstorm shit. And I started doing that and I started working on cover art and I started just like compiling information that I'm normally not doing until the song's almost finished.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about the cover art and I started trying to think visually about how the song might sound and just setting up all these things that I know I'm inevitably going to do, because this is why, and it's cool because now it's starting to take form, the process actually like being tangible almost.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing it, it's like, this will be my sixth single, like 6 months in a row. And yeah, it's all like slowly coming together.
Yeah.
And now it's not as much thinking about what I got to do. It's not as stressful. It's not
yeah.
It's not as much guesswork.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just like, man, to anyone who's trying to get shit done, like it's just not to, obviously you show up and you do the work and you put the hours in, but to pay attention to how you're doing it and what you're doing.
Yep.
And to take note, whether you physically write down notes or you mentally do it, but take note of your process because you can always make it better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it can always be refined and be more efficient. You know, and I think that's the only way to really grow. That's what businesses do. They scale. It's the only way a business really grows is by
refining.
Yeah, and becoming more efficient and just more cost effective.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're becoming more efficient. Yeah, because by the time you finish this, by the time Outsiders out, you're already kind of like 10-20% of the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
The opulence process.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been trying to do, and that's why like doing Outsider would like fucked me up a little bit, because I thought I knew what song I was going to do. I was going to do Patricia, remember? And then I was like putting heaps of hours into that. Then I was just like, nah, this ain't it. And then so I went with Outsider, and it sort of just like set me back a bit. But now I'm back into it. I just like had to decide. And then I just go with it. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Mental health check-in.
Well, anyway, but before we just quickly move on, Outsider is, it sounds great. The hook sounds great.
Thank you.
Has a great, what's the word we used earlier? Just the hook has a great mood.
Yeah, well, that comes down to like the thinking visually. That's like one of the parts of.
Do you think you did that more with this song than you did with other stuff?
Yeah, like I intentionally did it because reading Mastery, Robert Greene's book.
Yeah.
It's like he has all these like different little tactics to like achieving mastery and different like little tricks and things like that, like ways of thinking essentially.
Yeah.
And one of them is like, I can't remember if it's something like thinking in metaphors or thinking visually.
Yep.
And I just tried to like think about the song in a different way. Instead of like just thinking about how it sounded, I tried to think about how it would look or how it feels or how, just the overall sort of like scene that comes to mind when I'm listening. And to be honest, Cindy is so good at that. Like she like instantly has a whole fucking scene playing out in her head when I just like say a couple lyrics.
Yep.
And I'm like so not like that. Like I struggle hard to like really put visuals to something.
Yeah.
It's not a skill I have at all, but I believe you can really pretty much learn anything. So like I'm really trying to like make that a skill. And right now it's like I feel like an idiot almost when I'm talking to myself through it and I'm trying to visualize things. It feels like it's not really actually happening. But I have to believe that it's going to work, and now it is. It's like slowly taking form, and opulence will be another good test because I think it's a really powerful way to guide decision making. And get out of your head and like, just have something to anchor your process to. It's like if I was going to write a song right now about, mental health. That's a big topic that I know, like that. It's just going to be there the whole time, no matter how or what direction I take it in. I'm like, all right, mental health, and I can keep it sort of cohesive. It's just that sort of same principle, like picking an idea or an image, and then as you go forward, you have something that sort of guides. And like I say in the thinking visually in the path 2 thing, I was like, the song was like, it was coming along, but it was sounding a little bit flat to me, and I was like, I wanted it just to open up a bit more and have a bit more life to it, I guess. And then that was when I was like, went back to the image that I originally had, which is just sort of like this idea of like a cowboy of some type, just like sort
of
outlaw, yeah, and just like Wild West type times, and just by his lonesome, just not really mad or not really happy or sad, just like being an outsider, doing his thing, just like on a journey. And as I came back to that, this is like halfway through the process of making a song, I was like hit this wall, and I came back to that image, and I'm walking down the alleyway. And as I was listening to the mix I had in, and his dog started barking, and I could hear it through, and I'm like, oh, that sounded pretty cool. And then that sort of like got me on a tangent. As I was thinking about it, I'm like, all right, wait, like surely there'd be like birds or some shit. And so I had the idea of like eagles and sort of vultures and shit. And then I added these bird noises in, and it just like opened it up so much more. And then that's
created
where
the mood.
Yeah, the mood comes from. Exactly. So yeah, really happy with it. Yeah, it's like it's reassuring to have a process and to be consistent, because it makes me not worry too as much as I fucking want it so badly to go well and people to hear it and to get heaps of streams, because I'm like just on this train of just one foot after another, which is one of the lyrics. It makes me just so much more focused on just getting better, and the songs. The process is way more important than the end result. Like it's that simple. Like it's a real manifestation of that sort of principle.
And the thing is the more reps you put in, and the more refined this process gets, I think it's almost inevitable that the songs will get better.
Yeah, exactly. They are. Like the mixing's getting better. The cover art's getting better. Even like the.
I know. I just fuck with Hakuna.
Yeah, but even when you played it on the Yui Boom before, immediately after playing the other ones, I could hear the mix. Yeah, the mix just was a bit more thinner. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we're getting there day by day.
Yeah, but Blitz saved that song.
Yeah, true. It's play.
It's play.
Ready for any draft.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna. We thought it might be a good idea to do a little mental health check-in.
Oh, yeah, mental health check-in.
So, Matt?
Check it in.
Oh, we're meant to dap it up at the beginning.
Yeah.
Is that you checking in? Is that it?
No, like...
It doesn't have to be much. Just talk a little bit about, like, what you've been thinking about, or...
No, I am... my mental health today is good. I was a bit frantic and like kind of like throughout the majority of the day. I feel a lot more settled right now. I went and seen the psychologist for the first time, and that was good.
What was specifically this psychologist? What were they like as a person? Was it male or female?
Female.
What was she like? Like, did you? Because I mean, I haven't been to a psychologist, but you'd have to assume that the connection between the people
is important.
Pretty paramount.
Yeah, like I don't want to talk about it.
No, that's all right.
Just because, yeah, I don't want to go into detail just in case she ever watched this. I mean, I don't suppose that she would, but I just don't want to talk about it. But it did what it had to do. And
So
it's
you
our
going
first.
back?
Yeah, I'm going back. It was our first meeting, so I'm not gonna think too much about it. It was basically her just asking questions, getting to know me and know my life and stuff like that. So yeah, I talked all about our fucking wild family and just all the dynamics there, and so no, it was good. But apart from that, I think I've been relatively at peace, relatively calm in my mind. I could definitely be calmer. I just want to get to a point where I just want to be refining as much irrational behavior as possible. Yeah.
Behavior or thought? Like what
Both.
does behavior lead? What do thoughts lead to? Or like is there?
Yeah, bit of both. Like just the ability on a day-to-day basis for me to just flick into or out of just beating myself up is just
It's tough.
Yeah, it's not something that I kind of like. So it's kind of it's inevitable that there's going to be it's inevitable that there's going to be an element of it there always, but it's just about managing it as best I can. But
I mean, it's not inevitable. There's going to be maybe some type of maybe judgment or pressure or expectation you put on yourself, but that doesn't have to have negative connotations.
Yeah, true.
So like,
yeah, but it's look, I think it's just about like calming that voice down and calming myself down, and yeah, just being happy to be okay, and for nothing to be going on, just kind of refining it as best I can. But in terms of today, good. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Mental health check-in.
Yeah. The added pressure, I guess, I guess it's pressure because it puts the business. It puts pressure on. It's just time, like, and which means I have less time to do other things, which means it puts a very subtle pressure on other activities. So that can be a little bit like I get a little bit caught up in that and not feeling like productive enough, which then turns into a little bit of that, and then there's that pressure of judgment of what was the word you said? Just being harsh on yourself, sort of thing. That's where that sort of comes in for me, and just having probably too high of an expectation on myself, and that's something that it's just like obviously a constant work in progress. But meditation is I talk about it a lot with you. It's a saving grace, and it's something that I've started to get way more serious about. And it's just like the music, man. Like, it's a process, and it's a habit. You know what I mean? And it takes time to develop, and it takes time to see effects, and it takes time to enjoy it or seek it.
So one thing I noticed yesterday was when me and Dad were getting the coffee, and you stopped with Lockie, and you were just outside, and in that whatever 2 minutes it was while we're waiting for the coffee, you just sat there and you closed your eyes and you were doing some meditating, I guess.
Yeah, I've been doing that heaps more, and because everything that you were saying about yourself sounds like it all just comes down to awareness. All mental health, you know what I mean? The majority of the problems that we have in our life come down to the awareness, because it's usually when you're unconscious or you're caught up in thought or you're thinking about the past or the future that you fuck up.
That you go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. So just being that's just that I haven't necessarily been meditating more or longer or anything, but I've been trying to bring it into my life way more.
Right. So was that you just bringing yourself to awareness in that moment?
Yeah, just trying to sit there and not think about anything and just like just completely just be empty. And it's not easy, and it doesn't necessarily happen, and I don't even know if it did happen at that time. But it's so good when you can, and it's just to stop yourself going down, because sometimes it starts with a neutral thought. Sometimes it starts with like even a good thought. You could be happy about something, and then that just flips somehow. Like something influences it, then you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then all of a sudden, the shade of it turns a little bit, and you start feeling a certain way, and you can go on, man. Since I've started to try to be a lot more aware of this stuff, and throughout the day, and the breathing as well. The book that like was a big part of it, because it's just like being more conscious to breathe. Take the second to stop and breathe. I'm just noticing more and more like little stories I tell myself, or little ideas I believe in that aren't necessarily true, you know, and you have to want that. You have to try, you have to put the effort in.
Yep.
You can't just like, man, people, you know, we talk about our problems and complain about them and complain to other people and just get so frustrated and upset, and then we like don't do anything. We don't do anything. We do the opposite because we're caught up in this negative mindset. It makes us do more bad shit or more shit that's self-sabotaging. Like we do the complete opposite, and people think they talk by talking about it that they're doing it. And like we've talked about that before, like that's like
but the only thing you really need is in yourself. The only tool that you need is to come back to awareness, come back to being in the moment.
100%.
If you can just do that, you can find a way to let go of that other stuff that is causing the problems.
Yeah, because usually it's like, honestly, usually it's all not real.
Yeah.
Like you're telling yourself a story about something that hasn't happened, or you're like telling yourself a story about something that it has happened, let's say, and we all know how memory is. Memory's shocking. It's not a reliable source. It's not at all. Like,
sucks.
You ask, like they've done studies on this with like 9/11 and stuff, asking people where they are, and then they ask them a few years later, and then the answers completely change. And when you influence it a tiny bit, people will give you completely different answers. Yeah. Like if someone asks us, you know, where were you 9/11, let's say, whatever, and then I lead by saying, yeah, me and Matt were at the footy, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, we're at the footy.
Oh yeah.
And I could completely be setting you up and like
up the hills,
up the nights. But you know what I'm saying. So anyway, we can move on from that.
Yeah, but I when I was actually, and I don't want to say this, like, I'm not going to say it.
No, it's all good. What's it about? You don't have to say it.
I'm not.
You can't say what it's about?
No, so I'll say it.
Just go like this.
Yeah. So yeah, when I first read The Power of Now. Yeah. And I was doing it a lot.
Oh, and just quick side note, if anybody is at all interested in, you know, healing, gaining mental clarity, understanding their trauma or their pain, you know, trying to figure out why they feel certain ways, all of those sort of like things that trying to understand maybe why you wake up and you just feel like shit. This book is a good step in a direction of
Power of Now,
fixing those things.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's a book, yeah. So just not to go too far in it, but just to make sure people are aware, like what you're talking about, because it's a powerful book. It's a good book. It's one of many books that could probably influence the same sort of thinking.
Yeah.
But it's worthwhile to read.
One of the goats. So when I first read it, and I was like using that tool fairly regularly, but I would do so. I think I don't know if he says this in the book, but it's a tool to kind of bring you into awareness and bring you into the present. It's to you kind of inhale, and as you inhale, you close your eyes, and then you just kind of hold your breath, and then with your eyes closed, and then as you go to, I think maybe count to 3 or 5 or something, and then as you go to exhale, you slowly open your eyes and try to pretend that this is the first time you're seeing this world or something like that.
Yeah, cool.
And I used to do it like pretty frequently, and I did it. I used it a lot actually when I was playing poker.
Yeah.
So like when it would get around to me, it would be like on me to act, and I'd be like, and I'd feel like so in the moment, and then I could like make decisions based off of what was actually happening and not my biases,
not the stories you're saying,
not the stories I was telling myself, not you're down or you're up or whatever.
And that right there is the thing that like upsets me the most, because like I've realized in the last 6 months, like spirituality, meditation, whatever, however you want to spin it off, that's something that's important to me. It's something I care about a lot. And it clearly has still, especially for young dudes, young people in general, it definitely still just has these negative connotations, because it's like, it's weird, it's different, it's hippie, it's lame, it's too alternative for people. And the thing that's upsetting is that like, one, it's the best way to just heal and grow and be a better person and figure shit out. But two, it has such a practical application. Like,
it's like
you're talking about poker. You're talking about somewhere where there's a lot of bad things happening, a lot of negativity, a lot like people losing their homes, you know, right next to you, and not being able to pay the bills because they're gambling too hard, and you probably losing a bunch of money and feeling shit, and you know what I mean. But in that moment, you're able to use this tool. Because that's what it's just a tool. Like, you don't have to like think about it as anything esoteric or weird. It's just like just the ability to make sure that you're thinking clearly about what's in front of you.
And you're not allowing the stories to influence you in the present moment.
And even another thing sort of ties in with that, but a little bit, but just taking the time to think about things as well. Not making rash decisions and letting emotions dictate how you feel or what direction you go with. Like, was it you saying it about Drake? How apparently Drake has like a 72-hour rule that he doesn't respond to things for 72 hours.
That makes sense.
Like beef and, you know, people calling him out in press and shit like that. So that's the way you want to be. Like, you know, if you jump on something and you're feeling angry about it, you're feeling pissed off, like you're almost definitely going to make a bad decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long are we up to?
36 minutes.
All right, easy.
Let's start rolling.
All right. So, as people may have noticed, we made a little intro.
Woo!
LOOTRS OT.
Yeah. LOOTRS OT.
Yeah. No, that was we just wanted to. I mean, what were we gonna? We weren't even gonna do anything before that, eh? I don't think we. Because I made.
Well, I went to go edit the first one.
Yeah.
And then I realized, because I have the Slap Happy.
Yeah.
Like,
we wanted something.
We wanted something.
Yeah.
So I said to you, like, hey, you know, what do we want to do for the intro, outro kind of setting? Because I've created 2 little videos that I just whack at the beginning and end of all my podcasts.
Yeah. And I just filmed. I just did the superpowers one. So I was like,
yeah. So you did that, and then those ideas kind of molded, and we said, let's do something. Let's do something cool. Let's do something a bit memorable, and
and I think it's a good opportunity to. It's a calling card. You know, we're fucking hip hop artists. Like, it'd be dumb for us to not sort of capitalize on those skills a little bit and show people what we're about. You know, because before you even hear anything, you hear that. And when you hear that, you're like, you know, it's a pretty underrated thing to just talk on a beat. Like, it's not as easy as it sounds. Like, you give just a normal person who hasn't done any music or anything that bit, like, it's not sounding that good. It's that simple, because like there's still a flow to the way we talk. There's still that character to it.
I love the whistle.
It's dope.
OT.
And that's why when we got when we were like looking for a beat, I was like, we had to get something that just had like a grandstand championship feel,
trophies, vibes.
Yeah, exactly. I think we aced it.
Yeah, it sounds great.
And the video you chop together. If people watch the video content.
If you're watching on YouTube,
the YouTubes.
Yeah, we just took a bunch of the highlights from a few shows that we played like a couple of years ago, and to be honest, a little bit of my inspo for the video and how I wanted that to look came from our boy Airports. Let's go.
Airports.
So he had he did a
great intro.
Yeah, great little intro where he's cut together his highlights and you know, he introduces himself. Hi, I'm Aaron. You know, and yeah, I just thought it was a really cool way to set the scene and paint a picture of who he is as an artist who kind of has his own thoughts and opinions and kind of wanted to share them. So yeah, there was a little bit of that inspiration, and also I just wanted something that's like energy. That like if you're seeing this for the first time and you see that little highlights reel with that song, you're like, oh, okay,
these guys are alright.
I'll fuck with these guys. Yeah. Like you don't even know what we're about to say or do, but you just there's an energy there that you can get around.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah. So no, it looks really good. I'm really happy with it.
I'm very happy with it. It just adds an entertainment value.
Yep.
You know, instead of just being like, right, we're doing a podcast. Yeah. Here's the thing to put at the beginning of it.
It just like it brings all of our. It's just an accumulation of all of our thoughts and our skills and our characteristics all in one little package. It just kind of does all the talking for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's like just great branding. You know, it's like you gotta tell people what you're about. You can't just let people figure it out. Like you know, because some things are going to be obvious and come together, but other things, you know, we gotta be out there with it. But anyway,
so if you have seen or heard the Looters intro, let us know what you think about it, because I mean we're super proud of it. We're super impressed, but we'd just like to know how you feel about it. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Do we want to talk about where we're at with the business and?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, like, so the new, I guess, somewhat of a new direction.
Looters.
Yeah.
Looters?
No. Still Looters.
Yeah. So I mean, we were striving to become a kind of with a focus on social media marketing, right? A business that kind of does content and you know, works with other artists and small businesses, but like had a focus on social media marketing. That was idealistically what we wanted. It's we're kind of realizing that the learning curve, I think, is probably a little bit too steep in terms of our timeline.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, and I know you got your own piece on it. What I mean by that is, for us to monetize our business in the shortest possible time.
Yeah, but I think I think that's based on a little bit of like wanting a little bit of a more direct path or a safer route, which makes total sense.
No, it's not about safety. It's not about safety. It's about like doubling down on what we're already kind of good at, what we kind of enjoy, and what I think the future is going to be. Like, you know, I'll talk about the vision in a second, but I want to double down now on this skill set, because I see this as being not very relevant, not just relevant, but valuable. And I think if we can kind of establish ourselves as like, these are the guys in Melbourne. You know, these are the guys in Melbourne that do this, or, you know, if we can establish ourselves as these guys, like, let's be real. There's Facebook marketers out there that have been doing it for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? We're never going to get, like, we might be able to do good enough to be like, you know, help fucking Joe Blow at the delicatessen or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you know, Dr. Fang at his dentistry. But
do you actually know Dr. Fang?
Yeah, there's actually a doctor named Dr. Fang.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he works at a dentist.
Richmond. Yeah, he's
boss.
Yeah. I put it out, and Santo's like, "Yeah, hit up Dr. Fang." the name's real. And I looked it up. Yeah. No, he's Dr. Fang. Anyway, yeah. So like we could do like a job for them, but like let's be real. There's Facebook marketers out there with $100 million worth of ads that they've run over the last 10 years. For us to even just kind of catch up to them is probably going to take some time.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to. I'm thinking like.
The thing is, I really do enjoy it though.
And I'm not saying no to it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I get you.
I'm just saying
double down on this for now.
Yeah, double down on this for now because one, I think we have a bit more skill here, and I think we have
more of a niche.
We have way more of a niche potential here, and I see so much more of this in the future. Like, yeah, Facebook marketing and ads is still going to be around, but
got to capitalize on this now.
Yeah, this has like we're kind of ahead of the curve if we can do it now. Yeah. Facebook ads, we would have had to have been doing this 5 years ago to be kind of ahead of the curve or to be those guys. At least like 5 to 10 years ago. Yeah. But like if we really, I know, but if we really nail this right now and really put some hours and some money into this right now, we can be those guys for this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm thinking about it, and also, I just think it's
you can run if people have a podcast, can run ads for the podcast as well.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
So it's not like the skills are being wasted.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. They can be bundled together. It's just that I think one of them is just more suited to us. Plus, I think that we probably
more fits in with our personality.
It just fits more with our personalities, yeah. Like I just like if you think about it, like Facebook ads are very analytical. They're very, it's good that they exist like that because you can like kind of prove your worth a little bit more, but they're not that creative. There's a creative element to them to come up with the creative and the copy and stuff like that. But like actual dialing in ads is very. It's very targeted and very specific and
very objective.
Very objective, yeah. Whereas like creativity and kind of like working on a mix or working on a artwork or working on editing a video, like that's all their skills that like we really highly value, that we use all the time. That we want to kind of get better at, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So that's kind of like. So the vision I think is to, just build up this as a content, as a podcast production space, where we're kind of hiring ourselves out, hiring our skills out. What's going on?
Nothing.
Huh?
Come on, you know how it be.
Yeah, I know. And then
I'll tell you after.
And then down the road, hopefully. Down the road, actually managing some of the content or some of the creatives and managing some of the people that we're and kind of getting them under our umbrella. So I want it to be like us producing our 3 pieces of content first, like your podcast, my podcast, our podcast, and then working with other people to kind of produce on their behalf.
Is there a like a potential first person you reckon we could?
Deck yoga.
Yeah, probably. Anyone else in mind? Otherwise we just have to. I mean, surely someone across the road at the holistic health place. Maybe. Surely
But again, this will come down to our outreach and pitching our services. So, look, we haven't even asked one person. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. I believe you.
Yeah. Thanks for believing me.
Our other 2 brothers have just started businesses.
Our day oneses.
Day oneses? Or more than that. Day zeroses.
Day zeroses.
Dave. So I'm the youngest. I mean, second youngest.
Yeah, Cassie's the youngest.
Yeah, we've got a little sister, Cassie, who's 12 now.
Yeah.
And then me, 26. James 29 or
8.
30.
28.
28. Nah.
Nah, he's not 3 years older than you.
Yeah,
28.
he is. He is.
28. Maybe he's 29.
We're going to see a lot of shit as brothers.
29 in August? No. 20.
He's 3 years older. Yeah.
Is he? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And then Dave.
Dave, 30,
You, 50.
74.
Yeah, sweet. But yeah, no, so Dave is a creative as well. I mean, I
Like
guess we all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, he started a
Pagan Loot.
Pagan Loot. He's a drawer. He's an
Illustrator.
Sorry, my bad.
Get it right.
Sorry, Dave. He's an illustrator, and he's really interested in Vikings and Celtics and sort of that era and that sort of style and trends, and he always has been medieval essentially overall. And yeah, he did a bunch of drawings like throughout lockdown, and then decided might
Whack them on some shirts.
Whack them on some shirts. So he's done that, and the good thing is that like it'll tie in with us. We'll most likely run ads for him.
Yep.
Help him get that up and running and get his head around that. And then our brother, James, who's over living in London at the moment, shout out. Large London. it's like a fashion cosmetic. Large London. But yeah, he does dope collages. That's where
collage art. Yeah.
Yeah, the business is called Lahj, as in collage.
Yep.
LAHJ, is it?
Yep.
And he's London's still in lockdown at the moment. Like they've been in lockdown.
Shout out London.
Shout out London. Like they need it.
Yeah.
And so he started getting things together. He'd been toying with it for a while, but
yeah, he'd been doing them casually, but yeah, he pulled the trigger on the actual business.
So now he sells. He makes the collages, sells them as prints.
Prints, yep.
And yeah, again, we'll
not
be
the
helping.
pop artist. What? Prentice. Oh, okay. Sorry.
With a T, not
right.
C.
Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't give it to you. And yeah, so we'll be helping him as well.
Yeah.
So
we're all starting businesses.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting, isn't it? But it's cool because it might be another way. I mean, obviously, it'll be a little case study as well to help them, and it might sort of spark us.
Yep. Yeah, true.
That part of it anyway.
Yeah. Here's a challenge, Dave, James. First to $1 million. Let's go.
Let's go. I mean,
Looters Media versus Large London and Pagan Loot. First to $1 million. And whoever...
Who you got your money on?
I'll put $1 million on us.
I was going to back Large, to be honest.
Well,
just because it's my brother, I'd be dog if I did it.
Well...
back Dave, you dog.
I'll back Dave.
Yeah, sweet.
And then whoever the other two that don't win, they have to do dishes for life.
That used to be our bargaining chip, eh? It used to be at home doing jobs.
Yeah. Fuck that. Fuck.
And we used to have some monster dishwashing stacks. Yeah. We were like a big family, all boys. And just
remember when I paid you to hang the washing out?
Yeah, I got paid many a times to do many jobs.
It's because I had a win on the pokes like the night before. And I didn't have time to...
Oh, man.
I probably did have time.
You probably did have time.
But I was just like, I'm feeling good. I can afford it. Take $50, go hang the washing out.
It's the best shit.
Yeah, anyway. So yeah, the boys started a business. That's pretty cool. That's exciting. And, hopefully we can work together on a few things.
Yes, sir.
What else we got? So Lukey, let's talk about your podcast.
I thought we were going to talk about yours first.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk about mine. Go.
Hey, Matty. Hey, Matty.
Lukey.
Looking all chirpy over there.
Oh, yeah.
You must have a podcast going all right.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Look, Slap Happy's going okay. I'm up to about 970. Let's go. I'm about 970 subscribers on my YouTube.
About 970, so it's like
969. I just checked. Yeah. So
one
it's
of those guys.
Yeah, 969. I'm just trying to get to 1,000 because at 1,000 you can monetize the channel. So look, if you're watching this, please just go subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm trying to become a YouTube partner out here.
You want a box? Hopefully you can become a massive YouTube star and you can punch on with Jake.
With Ben Askren.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's my boy.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
I'll box him. I'll box him in.
You would box him.
Yeah. I'll put him in a box.
We'll go 2v2. Me, you.
Versus Pauls.
Yeah, versus Pauls. I got to do a bit of training, but I reckon we got this one.
Us. I saw this, Uncle Rico.
No.
The clothing brand that do all the like real bogan shit. They do all the like speed dealer joke things. Oh, they're a clothing brand. Anyway, they just got all these funny shirts, and one of them is Us, you fucking dog boxing academy.
That's so good.
Us. And they spell it O-U-S.
Yeah, it has to be.
O-U-S-S.
Yeah.
Us, you fucking dog.
Shit. In a video I seen of Ben Askren training, he has this like boxing coach and he's fully teaching him to us properly. I'm not even kidding. Because Ben's like throwing punches and I think he's like,
yeah.
And then he's like, no, like, yeah, get more power if you do it like that.
Do you remember when Uncle Timmy would us?
Yeah, it was so hard.
Us.
Oh, apparently 10% increased strength.
Really?
Power, yeah.
Well, that's what I've been doing wrong.
Yeah, you need it. There's a specific way to do it. You really got to open up the mouth and yeah, and it's just like a. There you go.
I reckon I'd be good at it.
Yeah, I almost feel like you bashed me.
Yeah. You probably just got bashed.
My ears got bashed.
Yeah. I'll fuck you up.
But,
yeah, cool.
Do you want to know about my podcast?
Oh, no. Well, I didn't tell you about... Yeah, well, anyway, it's gone good. We're up to 22 episodes today. What?
22. Shout out. It's good.
Hustling and grinding. Over 3,000 downloads on the thing.
It's massive, man. It's really, really good. It's like, I obviously watched for probably 2 years. You toyed with it.
Yeah.
And you started to film it.
Yeah. I think I started to film it probably. I filmed like the first.
And thank fuck you waited. Do you remember, like, I looked at the footage on this, it's like so dodgy.
That's dog.
And it's like the lighting's so shit. And you're sitting there, you're holding a mic.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, the one where I'm sitting on the couch?
Yeah, and it's like just
that's
like
dog.
nobody's watching that. Like I just look at the photo, like at the picture of the video, and I'm like, nah, bro.
Nah, skip.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, like I'm glad that I waited. But I think it was like the third or fourth attempt, iteration that I finally felt like I had something comfortable.
Better late than never.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm fucking happy. I'm loving it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. Like I haven't really. I've enjoyed the idea of it, but I haven't really felt like much of a like actual urge to follow through with it and do it.
Yeah.
But
you're finally there.
I'm finally there.
What's it called? What's your podcast called?
It's called Superpowers.
Okay. And when can we hear it?
Probably just maybe like this week or early next week. The first episode will be out.
Yeah.
The first episode's pretty shit, in all honesty, because it's me just like sort of stream of conscience, just like airing out my thinking around what made me decide to finally do it.
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, do you reckon I should just scrap that and should I still do that one?
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah. This is so funny. Like what you're talking is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. You just got to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna do it either way.
It sounds good. It sounds fine.
But yeah, no, that I'm gonna use it as an opportunity to go a little bit deeper on some of the things I'm thinking about. I don't know for sure if every episode would be real thought out and deep and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Too full on, but the second episode, which what I plan on doing, at least for when I have a release of a song or I have a proper topic that I want to talk about, I'm going to write some type of little essay so I can condense my thoughts and properly articulate what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Read that essay to start with.
Yeah.
And then talk off the back of it and be a bit more ad lib and free.
Right.
Sort of let
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
So the first one is me just, like I said, stream of consciousness, freely speaking about myself and my life. And
so I reckon we should aim to do looters on the Monday, like have it come out on the Monday, a regular thing on a Monday. Slap Happy's aiming to be Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So
Superpowers Friday.
Well, it doesn't have to be Friday. I was going to say Tuesday.
No, I'll split it up. For now, split it up. Makes more sense.
Yeah, but I'm just...
if people do...
I guess you could do like Friday morning.
Yeah, why? What's the problem? Oh, just less people
yeah,
less interested.
Maybe slightly less.
Well, I'll do Thursday then.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called Superpowers because, that's a concept I believe in. I believe that we all have a superpower. Yes, sir.
Mine's super strength.
I thought you was ususin.
Us.
But anyway.
Oh, so hard you fucking get knocked out.
Oh. It hurt my ears.
Sorry.
But yeah, ideally, because that's the course concept, it's about, we all have a special talent inside of us. But it's not like, the way I look at it, it's not necessarily like a specific personality trait. It could be anything, like the way you smile, the type of hugs you give, your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Man, anything.
I remember there's one that off the back of what you just said. One time I bought some flowers from a lady. This is in Brunny at Berkeley Square, maybe like last year. Bought some flowers, and this lady was so kind and lovely, and just like wholesome and warm.
Makes you feel different.
That I just walked away, just going.
Yeah.
Like she was like she was probably like in her 50s, just a motherly kind of energy, just was so warm.
Epi?
Yep.
Man, like her personality, her like soft nature, like that's what I'm saying. Like, but yeah, it can be a lot of different things. Some people it is physical. Some people, I don't necessarily think we all have one distinct one, or like it doesn't mean that more can't be cultivated, but I think everyone has something special.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is ideally to double down on that and have guests on and explore their superpowers.
Cool.
And me to ask questions and probe a little bit and get them to talk about it and maybe delve a little bit deeper, maybe get them to think about it in a way they hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's someone I talk to that maybe I have my own idea of like
what their power is.
Yeah, and I sort of like get them to
unravel it a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. There's a lot there. As well as that, there will be like talking about different types of superpowers. Like I might do an episode on like going deep on gratitude.
Yep.
And how I see that as a superpower and how to practically use that and like why it is a superpower, what's necessary about it.
Yeah.
Who could be good for and when or why to use it, So yeah, there's a lot there to still unravel. I'm too much of a psycho on like fully like making a good idea and making it be interesting and complex to like try and nut it all out from the get-go. Like I've got my scope. It was a very broad prior to this.
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck, what I could talk about anything. And I needed to zoom in on something.
Yep.
And so this just makes sense to me. And it's a way to talk about all the things like meditation and everything as well. And because again, that's a superpower, if anything, awareness, shit like that. So yeah, I'm going to use it to talk about things that...
I think it's a cool concept.
Cheers, appreciate it. I look forward to, treating it like music and developing it, cultivating the ideas and creating a process,
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a lot better in the future. I think it'll be okay to start.
Yeah.
But yeah, got to start somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, be on the lookout. I don't think here's the thing. Video content's so valuable. Like it's just, people just love being able to watch a video of people doing whatever. Like, you know what I mean? The audio. So at the moment, it's going to be just audio based because I want to be able to bring different samples and sounds in.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I'm like talking about Outsider, I want to like, and I'm talking about the birds and shit, like how I was saying before.
Play that a little bit.
Yeah, I want to have the birds playing while I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
just shit like that to make it a little bit more interactive or entertaining.
Yeah.
Bit immersive.
Just have more dynamics.
Yeah, so we'll see how it go. But yeah, I say we call it there.
We'll call it. I got to go do some ususun.
Yeah, I got to do some ususun as well.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
Episode 3 down. L is for looters. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
No, thank you.
Thank you. See you next time on.
Sweet.
See you next time in overtime.
Let's go.
LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. I said LOOTRS OT. LOOTRS OT.